So, I decided that I wanted to talk about um, the court system and my situation that I'm dealing with as I go through raising my grandchildren. And the videos may not make a lot of sense because I decided to just get on here and be authentic and talk about this situation. And there's no order like video one, two, three, or four. I'm just recording as I'm led by the Spirit. And it took me a while to get on here. And I'm not going to say it took me a while. It's just, I believe my heart had to be right to make sure that um, I didn't get on here with anger and be too emotional. Um, I'm trying to record as the Lord leads me. So if you see pauses in this or you hear, I'm not saying pronouncing everything the right way because I'm just really trying to get this out. Um, Again, I'm a little bit private as far as going on making videos or being on social media about my personal life because I haven't done that. But it is very important to me to make this part of my life public. I am a 60-year-old grandmother, and I'm navigating through, or I've navigated through the educational system, the judicial system, family court, Supreme Court. I am a facilitator. Um, and I am a teacher, so I've worked with children and family. I'm the oldest girl of my siblings, so I've been around children all my life, but never in a million years could anyone tell me that this is where my life would end up. And I always knew that God had a purpose, but again, we know God gives us things. We don't know everything. We know in parts. And my current situation as a 60-year-old grandmother who has joint custody of her grandchildren, and just navigating through the court system, the family court system, is very hurtful, very challenging. I myself feel neglected. How about, all the children that's being neglected or being looked over? My grandchildren, the 11-year-old was with me since birth. The 6-year-old, I actually she started residing with me at 6 months. Although she was with another family member, I actually still, you know, was in her life sharing, um, nurturing, and raising her with another family member. I am the mother of an only child. My daughter had her first child at 19, and then the next child 6 years later. And it's been, I don't even want to say challenging. It's been horrific what I have experienced as a divorced mom, a single mom, and a teacher, a business owner, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And although I have reached out to, I'm a part of many community organizations, and I have reached out to get many resources to help me navigate this process. Both children um, had to go through the court system since they were born. Their mom, who was living the lifestyle that I want to be careful the lifestyle that I say that I talk about, So I'm going to just set that to the side. I want to talk about my experience. Um, the first child, she was my daughter, the kid, my grandson's mom was hospitalized after the birth of her child, experienced psychosis and then mental health situations where there was not an accurate diagnosis. And once she was hospitalized, the healthcare system, they didn't seem to think anything was wrong with her. After doing a basic diagnosis, they were ready to send her home, and I had to fight to or advocate for them to keep her there because, again, with the laws, with the healthcare system, you only allow so many days in the hospital. And that is saddening in itself because, you know, 3, 4 days is not even enough time to properly diagnose someone um, who had major um, issues even as a 14-year-old. My daughter had been in counseling since she was 14. And just just her counseling experience was masked. She still was hiding, and she still was not being really honest as she was going through her counseling. To me, basically, um, she's been hiding and partially still hiding now. But once she had her first son, you could see that, you know, she had some severe problems. My grandson, he suffered lots of problems. It was a lot of court situations in and out of court with custody, petitions, visitation petitions. And the sad part of all this is I did not ask to um, have custody of my grandson. This was put on me. Immediately once I got custody, then other people, the other grandparents started coming forth, and because of the laws, I had to surrender my grandson's visitation to them. Although he resided with me, I still had to allow them to have visitation, and um, in their presence, he experienced a lot of neglect, a lot of violence, inconsistencies, and the both grandparents continue to um, take out petitions against me and against the mom. And that would have been fine if their motives were good, but their motives were not good, and they didn't have the well-being of my grandson, the first grandchild. They didn't have his well-being. Their motives were not pure. And with my grandson, I believe that he was being groomed by his grandfather. And why do I believe that? It is because of his actions. He became anxious, not wanting to go. He expressed violent tantrums performed by his grandfather. Now, he did not tell me this till 11 years later. So now I'm wondering how many more things that were suppressed by him. Then, at the hand of the grandmother, the paternal grandmother, my grandson was left unattended as a minor with his younger sibling who was a female, and they were left alone. He experienced um, a accident caused in her care, in his paternal grandmother care, where he had to be put in a straitjacket and receive stitches because he hit his head on a doorbed. And later on, I found out that he was tripped while they were playing. That's what he said. That's how he described that. And again, this came out later years. He experienced seizures, rashes, heat rashes, um, not being put in a child, a car seat as an infant while in the care of the maternal mother. Um, Needless to say, the paternal grandmother. He experienced falls and not being properly placed in the car seat while he was with his mom. And it took me going back and forth to court several times. And at that particular time, they um, still mandated her to have access because she was a mother. As long as she got treatment or as long as she went into counseling and finished a 2 week or 3 week program for child rearing or parenting, she was okay. So basically, all she had to do is check the boxes, and they said, good, okay, you did those. Now you can start back seeing your child. And so that particular child is 11 now and is extremely educationally smart, but experience um, symptoms of anxiousness, outbursts, um, fear, isolation, and delayed processing. He stares off and goes into like a trance, and you have to call his name several times before he comes out of that. Now you would never know because he's extremely articulate, extremely smart. They call him a mathematician, and it took myself just advocating for him, following up on situations that happened in school, on the bus, his bus ride back and forth home, back to and from school. It took me monitoring him. And 11 years later, I'm still, as we go through therapy, I'm still discovering or trying to get to the bottom of some of his behaviors. So with therapy, I hope to be able to expose whatever it is that caused it, whatever it is that is, whatever it is that he went through. And at the very same time, I'm in court going through custody proceedings with the grandparent, the paternal grandparent, the maternal grandfather, and my daughter, who is the mother of my grandson. And it's sad to say that while they're fighting for visitation and custody, none of them are aware of the situation, the delicate situations involving these children. When they are with the mom, which is inconsistent, when he's with his mother, he's just allowed hours and hours to just be in his room on playing video games. When he comes back home, he's like a zombie because all he did was stay in his room and play video games and eat. So basically, when he comes back to me, he resides with me. I have to reprogram. I have to spend days and days on end trying to bring him back to reality. I had to get therapy for him, counseling, and I'm navigating all these resources for him while the mom just gets them whenever it's convenient for her, and brings them back, may show up for a visit with counseling, but is not involved with nurturing and raising him. And it's sad to say, in reaching out for help and reaching out for resources, at 11 years old, um, we've only just begun to scratch the surface of what's going on with them. The 11-year-old who, the 6-year-old, my 6-year-old granddaughter, she was, my daughter carried her while I had to get a court order mandate for her to stay in the psychiatric ward of a hospital. At that time, my daughter had to stay in the hospital until delivery of her child, but she also was being administered meds. And at 6 years old, I'm seeing severe behaviors, and it caused me to seek out assistance to find out if while my granddaughter was in the womb, did she have some developmental problems, and also being in the environment of a psychiatric ward, we know that when children are in the womb, they are still affected by their outside environment. And some of her symptoms are extremely hyper. She can't be still. At night, she kicks her leg, rapid movements. She's mature, but she's mocking out or masking out adult behavior. She doesn't sleep through the night. She lashes out where she has had continual problems in daycare and in school. Sometimes I receive 3 and 4 calls in one day. And her behavior is masked as well because she can be very charismatic. She has a sweet heart, but again, there's behaviors. I noticed she was stealing, lying, like manipulating, and for her to be 6 years old, it caused me to again seek out how did these behaviors develop. And partially I know it's because the environment she's in with her mom, even after, I'm not talking about why she was in the womb, I'm talking about the visits that she received with her mom. And she masked out her mother's mannerism or any adult mannerism because she has been allowed to be treated like she is a friend and not a child to the mother. She's illegally she's been allowed to drive in a car with her mom without a car seat. She stays up all night watching television. She has sexual movements with her body. And when I express some of these situations to the mom just ignores them. There's no discipline. And with all that being said, now I'm in court with a petition for two visitation petitions and one custody petition, which is being filed by the mom. and they have no idea what is going on with either child. And I mentioned before, they both children have just been bribed. They been given things to hide the real situation that goes on when they are with these adults. And even though I am currently in court with an attorney, um, I just decided that I was gonna go public and just speak about this because I know it's happening not just in my with my situation, but it's happening with the many children. And um, I'm afraid that um, either the children are gonna going to continue to be in danger. That if I don't speak out against this, um, it could be detrimental to the children as well. And I'm not going to sit back and just allow things to not be exposed. And I feel as though things are being documented, but they're being overlooked because the system, the court system, family court, has so many cases. They have so many situations. They do not have time to review the case. So I took matters into my own hands and I reached out to CPS. I've gotten court orders. Um, and then after I get a court order and time goes by, my daughter, she does well for a small period of time. And then she begins to take the children around adults like their grandparents who are grooming the kids, who are violent. And the one grandparent only wants to have visitation with the 11-year-old boy, but he does not want to see the 6-year-old granddaughter. So there's many red flags, and I will continue this video next time. Thank you.